Hello, sweet soul, and welcome back to Brit's Bedtime Stories. Tonight's story is for the ones who are tired in a way sleep alone does not always explain. For the ones lying in bed with a body that feels unfamiliar. For the ones healing, waiting, hurting, enduring. For the ones with illness, disability, pain, exhaustion, fear, or questions too large to answer in the dark. And maybe for the ones who have felt very alone inside it all. Before we begin, take only what feels gentle tonight. You do not have to force peace. You do not have to be positive. You do not have to make your pain meaningful before you are ready. This story is simply here to keep you company. And if this space brings you comfort, please like, subscribe, share with someone in need, or leave a comment below. It helps this little corner of the internet reach more tired souls who may need somewhere soft to rest tonight. Now, let your body settle. Let your shoulders loosen if they can. Let your jaw soften. Let your eyes grow heavy. And let this be the place where nothing is demanded from you. Not healing, not bravery, not understanding even. Just rest, just warmth, just one small breath at a time. Tonight, you are not alone. Tonight, there is a light beside the bed, and it will stay on for you. The room was quiet in the way only late night rooms can be quiet. Not silent, not empty, but hushed, like the whole world had lowered its voice. Rain moved softly against the window, gentle, steady, patient. It traced thin silver paths down the glass and blurred the streetlights outside into soft, golden halos. The room was dim. A single lamp glowed on the bedside table. Its light was warm, not too bright, not sharp, just enough to remind the dark that it did not own everything. Beside the lamp sat a cup of tea, still breathing faint curls of steam into the air. There was a folded blanket at the foot of the bed, a glass of water, a small dish for medicine, a tissue box, ordinary things, human things. The small evidence of someone trying to make it through the night. You were lying there beneath the blankets, tired, not just sleepy, tired in the bones, tired in the thoughts, tired from answering questions, tired from waiting for answers, tired from being asked how you are, tired from pretending the answer is simple, because sometimes the body becomes a country no one else can enter. People can stand near the border. They can look across. They can say they are sorry. They can say they hope you feel better soon. And maybe they mean it. Maybe they truly do. But they cannot climb fully inside your skin. They cannot feel exactly what you feel from the inside. They cannot feel the strange little fears that arrive when the room gets quiet. They cannot feel the weight of wondering what tomorrow will ask of you. They cannot know the private negotiations between you and your body, the careful math of energy, the invisible effort, the brave face, the quiet collapse after everyone else has gone to sleep. And maybe, sweet soul, that is the loneliest part, not the pain itself, not only the symptoms, not only the appointments, the uncertainty, the treatments, the medications, the flare-ups, the seizures, the weakness, the nausea, the grief, the fear, the exhaustion, but the feeling that no one is really in it with you, not all the way, not in the middle of the night, not when the body feels like a locked room and you are the only one awake inside it. So, tonight, let this story sit beside you, not to fix you, not to explain you, not to cover your fear with pretty words, just to stay. That is all. To stay here with you. The rain continued. The lamp glowed. The room breathed. And somewhere between one tired thought and the next, you noticed something you had not noticed before. There was another chair beside the bed. It had not been there earlier, or maybe it had. Maybe it had always been there in some quiet way. A soft chair, deep and old, covered in dark blue fabric, worn smooth at the arms. It looked like the kind of chair someone would sit in during a long vigil. The kind of chair that did not rush. The kind of chair that understood waiting, and sitting in it was a presence. Not frightening, not demanding, not a stranger with questions, just a calm, steady presence. Something almost human, almost memory, almost moonlight. It did not lean too close. It did not touch you without asking. It simply sat there in the lamplight, quiet and awake, keeping watch, protecting. And somehow, without words, you understood. You did not have to explain your pain to be worthy of comfort. You did not have to perform your suffering properly. You did not have to be inspirational. You did not have to turn your illness into a lesson. You did not have to be grateful for the thing that hurt. You did not have to be brave in a way that made other people more comfortable. Tonight, you were allowed to be exactly what you were, a living being in a tired body, needing tenderness. The presence beside the bed took a slow breath in and out, and without trying to match it perfectly, you noticed your own breath. Maybe it was shallow. Maybe it was uneven. Maybe it was caught in the ribs. Maybe deep breathing felt like too much, and that was all right. A breath does not have to be deep to be sacred. A small breath is still a breath. A small breath is still life moving through you. A small breath still counts. So you let it be small. You let the body breathe however it could. In, out, just enough. In, out, no forcing, no fixing, no performance of calm. Just the quiet permission to breathe badly, gently, imperfectly, and still be held. The presence in the chair spoke then, not loudly, not dramatically, just a low voice in the soft room. You are not alone in this night. The words did not erase anything. They did not change the diagnosis. They did not change the body. They did not change the scan or the blood work or the waiting room or the memory of fear, but they entered the room like warmth, like a blanket being placed over the part of you that had been cold for far too long. You are not alone in this night. Outside, rain softened the edges of the world. Inside, the lamp kept burning. And for the first time in a long while, you did not have to hold yourself together so tightly. You could let the face soften, the forehead, the eyelids, the tiny muscles around the mouth, the tongue resting heavy in the mouth, the jaw unclenching even a little. If your body wanted to cry, it could cry. If your body felt numb, it could be numb. If your body felt angry, angry was welcome too. Anger is not failure. Sometimes anger is the part of you that knows this matters. Fear is not weakness. Sometimes fear is the nervous system standing guard around what you love. Grief is not brokenness. Sometimes grief is love trying to understand change. And numbness is not emptiness. Sometimes numbness is the body closing a door until it has enough strength to open it. All of it belonged. You belong. And all of it could sit in the room. Fear at the foot of the bed, anger by the window, grief beneath the blanket, hope somewhere near the lamp, small but still lit. Nothing had to be exiled. Nothing had to be solved. Tonight, every part of you was allowed to come in from the cold. The presence beside the bed turned toward the window, and as you followed its gaze, the rain outside began to change. Not stop, change. Each droplet caught the lamplight in a strange and beautiful way. Silver became gold. Gold became white. White became something almost alive. The rain no longer looked like weather. It looked like thousands of tiny lanterns falling gently from the sky. Not to flood, not to drown, but to bless the dark surfaces of the world. The street, the glass, the leaves, the roof, the tired earth. And then the room seemed to widen, not physically, not exactly, but in the way dreams widen a room without breaking it. The walls grew softer. The ceiling lifted into shadow, and the window opened not to the street, but to a lake. A black lake beneath a black sky, still, vast, endless. The kind of lake that looked like it had been holding stars since before language had names for them. There was a narrow shore outside the window now. Smooth stones, dark sand, a line of pine trees standing quiet in the rain. And on the water, far out but not unreachable, floated a single lantern, then another, then another. Small bedside lights drifting across the lake, each one warm, each one steady, each one belonging to someone else who had once lain awake in pain. Someone else who had wondered if they were alone. Someone else who had whispered into the dark, "I don't know if I can do this." The lake was full of them. Lanterns for the sick, lanterns for the grieving, lanterns for the disabled, lanterns for the frightened, lanterns for the ones in treatment, lanterns for the ones waiting for answers, lanterns for the ones recovering, lanterns for the ones who may not recover, lanterns for the ones whose bodies had become mysteries, lanterns for the ones who were still here, lanterns for the ones who had gone beyond the shoreline. And none of them were alone, not really, not in the deepest sense. The presence beside the bed stood slowly. The chair did not scrape. The room did not startle. Everything remained soft. And without any pressure at all, the presence seemed to ask if you wanted to go closer. Not leave your body, not abandon the bed, just travel inward toward the place where fear and wonder meet, toward the lake that lives beneath all lonely nights. You did not have to move. You only had to imagine. And if imagining felt like too much, you could simply listen. That was enough. Everything here was optional. even peace. The blankets around you became a cloak, soft, heavy, warm, not tight, not trapping, just enough weight to remind your body of edges. This is where you are. This is the bed beneath you. This is the blanket over you. This is the breath moving through you. This is now. The presence opened the window and the smell of rain and pine entered the room. Cool, clean, earthy. The lake waited outside. The shore waited outside. And somehow, without effort, you found yourself there. Still resting, still safe, but also standing or floating or simply being near the water. Dreams do not need logistics. They know how to carry what waking life cannot. The stones beneath you were smooth. The air was cool against the face. The rain was soft enough to feel like mist. And the dark water moved in slow, quiet breaths against the shore. The presence stood beside you, not ahead, not behind, beside. That mattered, because tonight was not about being led somewhere you were not ready to go. It was about being accompanied exactly where you were. A small wooden boat rested at the edge of the lake. It was not a death boat, not a final boat, not a symbol that demanded anything from you. It was simply a boat, old wood, dark and polished by time. A folded blanket inside, a lantern at the bow, room enough for you to lie down, room enough for the presence to sit nearby, room enough for silence. You stepped in only if you wanted to, and if a part of you did not want to, that was welcome too. The story did not force you. It waited. The lake waited. The lantern waited. And in that waiting, something in you began to understand. There are places where you do not have to be pushed. There are kinds of healing that begin with not being forced. When you were ready, the boat drifted away from shore. No rowing, no engine, no effort, just water carrying wood, just the slow, almost invisible movement of being held by something larger. The lantern at the bow glowed softly, gold against the dark. You lay beneath a blanket in the boat, and above you the sky opened wide. Stars everywhere. So many stars. It almost hurt to look at them. Not because they were cruel, but because they were vast. And sometimes beauty feels almost unbearable when you are tired. You looked at those stars and thought of all the people who had looked at them before. People in pain, people in love, people afraid to die, people afraid to live, people waiting for news, people holding someone's hand, people losing someone, people surviving years they never thought they could survive, people whispering prayers into ceilings, people bargaining with mornings, people wondering if their body was still home. The stars had seen all of it, not with judgment, not with answers, just witness. And maybe witness was not small. Maybe to be witnessed without being corrected is one of the oldest forms of love. The boat moved farther onto the lake. Around you floated other lanterns, some close, some distant, some bright, some dim, but all of them still burning. And as you drifted among them, you could sense the lives attached to each light. Not details, not names, just presences. Other sweet souls. Someone listening to rain in a hospital room. Someone curled beneath a blanket, afraid of another test result. Someone with shaking hands. Someone with a body that moved differently than it used to. Someone grieving the life they thought they would have. Someone exhausted from being called strong. Someone who did not want advice. Someone who just wanted to be held. The lake did not rank their pain. It did not say who had it worse. It did not ask for proof. It held every lantern, every story, every trembling little flame. And then, softly, the presence beside you spoke again. There are many kinds of alone. The voice was calm. There is the alone of an empty room. There is the alone of being misunderstood. There is the alone of pain no one else can feel. There is the alone of smiling so others do not worry. There is the alone of being tired of explaining. And there is the alone that comes when you meet the great questions. Why this body? Why this pain? Why now? What if I do not get better? What if I change? What if I lose what I love? What if I cannot be who I was? What if I am afraid? The boat drifted, the lantern burned, the rain softened, and there is another kind of alone, the presence said, the kind that is not abandonment, the kind that is spacious, the kind that exists beneath everything. The quiet center where you meet yourself, not as a problem, not as a patient, not as a burden, not as a diagnosis, but as a soul, a person, a being, still here. The words moved through you slowly, still here, not fixed, not certain, not fearless, just still here. You brought one hand to your chest, if that felt all right, or maybe you only imagined it. Your palm resting over your heart, warmth meeting warmth. The presence did not instruct you like a teacher. It simply invited. If it feels safe, sweet soul, let your hand become company. So you let your hand rest there, not pressing, not forcing, just contact. A small human bridge, skin to fabric, palm to chest. You felt the rise, the fall, maybe faint, maybe uneven, maybe tired, but there. Your body was still speaking in its own language, in pulse, in warmth, in breath, in ache, in need. Then maybe the other hand came to the belly, or the ribs, or the shoulder, or the cheek, wherever the body most needed kindness, wherever loneliness had been loudest. You did not have to love your body perfectly. You did not have to forgive it. You did not have to understand it. You only had to touch it gently enough to say, I know. I know this has been hard. I am here. The boat rocked softly. The lake held you. The stars watched without asking anything. And the presence beside you leaned closer, not touching, just near. If you want, it said, you may imagine being held. Only if you want. Only if it feels safe. Only if the body allows. A hug does not have to be a cage. A hug does not have to take. A hug can be careful. A hug can ask. A hug can arrive like a blanket, like rain, like the weight of a hand that does not demand an answer. So, maybe you imagined arms around you, not tight, not urgent, just steady, a careful embrace from something kind enough to know how fragile the night can feel. It held your shoulders, your back, the tired place between the shoulder blades, the ribs that had guarded too much, the heart that had tried to keep hope alive while also preparing for disappointment. And in that imagined holding, you did not have to collapse beautifully. You did not have to sob if no tears came. You did not have to feel anything dramatic. You could simply be held, and that was enough. The presence whispered, "You are not a project tonight. You are not a problem to be solved. You are not too much. You're not a burden for needing care. You are a living being in need of tenderness, and tenderness is allowed. Let me hold you." Something in the lake answered, not with words, with warmth. A slow golden warmth rising from the lantern at the bow. Soft, subtle, not a miracle show, not a promise, just warmth. It moved through the boat like early morning light, across the blanket, across your hands, across the places that ached, across the places that felt distant, across the places you had tried not to think about. If you receive Reiki, you might imagine this warmth as gentle, universal light and life energy. If you do not, you might simply imagine comfort. Either way, It does not force the body to change. It does not command healing. It does not argue with medicine, science, treatment, or reality. It only offers kindness to the nervous system, warmth where there has been bracing, softness where there has been fear, company where there has been isolation. The warmth gathered at the crown of the head, not bright, not overwhelming, just a soft glow, like moonlight through the thin curtains. It moved over the forehead, the temples, the eyes, the jaw, the throat, the shoulders, slowly, so slowly, as if there was no deadline, because tonight there was no deadline. It moved to the chest, and there it paused. The heart does so much. It carries love, fear, memory, shock, hope, old grief, new grief, words never spoken, words said too late, names, places, songs, hands, goodbyes. The heart is not weak because it gets tired. It has been carrying whole worlds in the dark. So the warmth simply rested there, not asking the heart to open, not asking it to close, just keeping it company. Then it moved lower to the ribs, the lungs, the belly, the hips, the legs, the knees, the feet, all the way down to the soles, all the way down to the places that remind you belong to the earth, even when life feels strange, even when the future is uncertain, even when the body is not behaving the way you wish it would. You are still allowed to belong here. The boat drifted among the lanterns, and as it drifted, you began to hear something. At first it sounded like rain, then like breath, then like voices far away, speaking softly across the water. Not haunting, not frightening, gentle, human. You could not hear every word, but you felt the meaning. I'm scared too. I am tired too. I am here too. I understand enough. You do not have to explain. The lake was not empty. The night was not empty. The dark was not empty. It was full of others. Others in rooms, others in beds, others in bodies that hurt, others in minds that would not quiet, others holding on, others letting go, others breathing small breaths, others lighting small lights. And maybe healing tonight did not mean becoming well. Maybe healing tonight meant feeling less alone. Maybe healing was not always the body changing. Maybe sometimes healing was the room changing, the meaning changing, the tight fist of fear opening one finger at a time. The sense that even here, even in uncertainty, you were still worthy of love and gentleness. The presence watched the lanterns with you, then it said, "No one knows how long they have, not truly. Some people are forced to know more than others. Some people live with the question pressed close to their face. Some people can pretend, some cannot, but every life, no matter its length, touches the mystery." The boat rocked, the water breathed, and the mystery is not made smaller by pretending it is not there. It is also not made kinder by staring at it all night. So, tonight, you do not have to solve it. You can set the great question down beside you. Just for now. You can let it rest too. You imagined the question, the big one, the one with no easy answer. Maybe it looked like a stone, dark, heavy, cold, from being carried too long. You did not throw it away. You did not deny it. You simply placed it in the bottom of the boat, beside the lantern. And for the first time, it was not in your hands. There, the question could still exist, but you did not have to hold it every second. The fear could still exist, but it did not have to sit on your chest. The grief could still exist, but it did not have to swallow the whole sky. You were allowed moments of rest, even before everything was okay, especially before everything was okay. The boat drifted toward the center of the lake. The lantern circled slowly around you now, not like strangers, not like quiet witnesses, like a constellation on the water. Each flame said, I was here, I am here, I mattered, I matter, and so do you. The presence reached toward the lantern at the bow and lifted it carefully. Inside the glass, the flame flickered, small, golden, alive. It offered the lantern toward you. You do not have to carry this alone, it said, but you may carry this. You looked at the light. It was not heavy. It was not an answer. It was not a cure. It was not a guarantee. It was a reminder that even when the body hurts, light and love can exist beside pain. Even when fear is present, tenderness can be present too. Even when the future is unknown, this moment can still be softened. You held the lantern, and the moment your hands touched it, you felt the room again. The bed, the blanket, the pillow, the lamp, the rain, the glass of water, the small human things around you. You were still here. You had never left. The lake had been inside the room all along. The lantern had been the bedside light. The boat had been the bed. The presence had been whatever love knows how to stay. You were lying beneath the blankets, one hand over your heart, or maybe resting at your side. The lamp still glowed. The rain still moved against the window, and the chair beside the bed was still there. The presence sat in it again. Calm, patient, awake. You did not know what tomorrow would bring, and the story did not pretend otherwise, but tonight was not tomorrow. Tonight was this room, this breath, this blanket, this small golden light. Tonight the body did not have to be forced. The mind did not have to be convinced. The soul did not have to perform wisdom. Tonight you could just be tired and held and loved and accepted. The presence spoke one final time. If no one has said it gently enough, let it be said now. I am sorry. This has been so hard for you. I am sorry for the loneliness of it. I am sorry for the moments you had to be brave when you wanted to be held I am sorry for the fear you carried quietly. I am sorry for the body that scared you. I am sorry for the waiting. I'm sorry for the way pain can make the world feel smaller. And I am here not to erase it, not to explain it away, just to sit beside you while the night passes. You do not have to apologize. I love you even so, and I'm here for you. The words settled into the blankets, into the pillow, into the quiet. And maybe your body believed a little of it. Maybe not all. Maybe not yet. That was okay. A little is enough. A little warmth. A little breath. A little less alone. A little room inside the chest. A little softening. A little sleep. The rain began to hush. The lamp dimmed slightly, though it did not go out. The presence in the chair leaned back, still there, still keeping watch, still loving you through all your pain. And your body, tired from carrying so much, began to remember that it did not have to stay braced forever. The forehead softened, the jaw softened, the throat softened, the shoulders softened, the hands softened, the belly softened, the legs grew heavier, the feet grew warmer, the bed held you without needing anything in return. You did not have to earn rest. You did not have to deserve it by being productive. You did not have to wait until you were better. Rest was allowed now, as you were right here. Somewhere beneath the sound of rain, the lake still existed. The lantern still floated. All those little lights, all those quiet souls, all those bedside lamps burning through the dark, and your light among them. Not alone, never as alone as fear said. Now, sweet soul, let the story grow softer. Let the words become fewer. Let the room become warm and dim. Let your body take whatever rest it can. If sleep comes, let it come. If sleep takes its time, you are still safe to rest. You do not have to chase it. You do not have to do this perfectly. Just listen Just breathe. Just be. The rain is gentle. The blanket is warm. The lamp is low. The chair beside the bed is occupied by kindness. And the night is staying with you. You are not alone in this body. You are not alone in this room. You are not alone in this human mystery. You are here. You are held. You are safe to rest. Good night, sweet soul. Let your eyes grow heavy now. Let your thoughts loosen. Let your hands unclench. Let your heart be quieted, not by answers, but by loving, compassionate company. You have done enough for today, more than enough. And now, there you go, there you go. There is nothing more you need to carry tonight. You've done so perfectly well. Let the bed hold you. Let the blanket hold you. Let the rain hold the window. Let the little bedside light stay on inside you. You are safe enough for this breath, and this one, and this one. Sleep now, sweet soul. No more trying, no more proving, no more being brave tonight. Just rest, just warmth, just the soft, steady knowing that you are not alone. There you go. Good night. Sleep. Rest. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, be gentle with yourself and let the night keep watch. Sleep now. You are held.